So, like a 1 month ago, I bought a 3D printer and start 3D printing resins. And like a 1 week ago, my airbrush came. The same day I made a Frieren figure. 3 days later, I finished the 2B figure you just saw. After 1 week later, my airbrush came. I finished the Frieren figure. This is what I learned in just a 1 week. Please don't go hard on me. I printed some models and store them in plastic bags. Today I choose the Frieren figure. While I sanding, I found I make the base of the figure so small. I upscaled the figure, but I forgot to upscale the base. It fits like a shoe after little shaving. The print parts are good, but I'm trying to sand the support lines. Test fitting the figure before painting is really important. You don't want to find out after painting your parts not fit. I really like the stand of the figure. The mimic chest is really looking good. I'm trying to fill resin draining holes with the wood fill. It's not a perfect way, but it's done the job. It's important to push little sticks to holes of Frieren. Thick or thinner, long or short, doesn't matter. Fill the holes. I'm preparing the skin tones of the Frieren. I'm using homebrew cleaner and thinner for my airbrush. Water or distilled water not working for airbrush for me. I use cheap craft paints. Because of that, I homebrew the cleaner and thinner for my airbrush, using light skin tones for the base color for skins. Trying to make 2 or 3 thin coats for the base color, not thick one coat. Every color change I need to clean my airbrush. It's really frustrating, but I need to do that. Every time you see the eye change color, I do these steps. Yes, I drink tea every time when I cleaning my airbrush. Now I'm painting the base coat of the white parts, using just a little white and thinner. Most of time for white parts I don't like to use white. Mostly I paint with off-white like a vanilla, white with little tint of yellow. But this time I am painting with only white. For skin shadows, I use pinkish skin color named Flamingo in my cheap craft paint. As you can see in the background, it's not first time trying to paint Frieren. Before I painted 8 Frieren heads for training. After that I made the 2B and now I'm back to Frieren. I'm using pinkish shadow color because it's more sensual than the standard skin colors. I don't know if it's only for me or not, but I love the pinkish shadow colors. For face, I painted shadow to the eye sockets and the lower parts of the face. Little eye mirror. And now I'm using lighter skin tones for the highlights. I'm not pro or anything, but I like this way. I will learn new things for the skin tones. It's just a beginner way to paint shadow and highlights. Using harder shadow and highlights for the leg parts because I'm gonna paint pantyhose to the legs. I decided to do that because Heimel angry to the kid who saw underskirt of the Frieren. Now Heimel angry to me and you. In anime, Frieren wearing like a yoga pants, but I decided to make pantyhose because it's, you know why it's because. And cleaning airbrush, of course. The next day I started to sand the mimic chest. Paint the shoes and the chest with same dark brown color. I'm gonna shade the chest more darker and richer, deeper colors. For shading boots, I only use darker brown for the shadows. I used same darker brown for the mimic chest, but more intense. You can see the boots before shading and after shading. I'm using the brightest red I have for the tongue of the mimic chest because I want to paint like a living thing. Little masking tapes and a bigger hands is really arch enemies. I'm masking the chest for the metallic colors because I had problem with the metallic colors in my airbrush. Cheap craft paints working in my airbrush, but the metallic version of the same paints it's not working. It's same brand, but it's made for brushes, not for airbrush. I'm using acrylic paints and acrylic thinner for the airbrush, but every time I use the metallic version of this brand, it's clogging my airbrush like a crazy. One pump and they're done, like a teenager with a cheerleader. I tried more and more, but I don't think this paint's working with my airbrush, and switched to brushing and drop metallic paint on the brown parts. It was really took some time to paint the mimic chest, but I really like the finished product. For teeth, I'm using the white I was said, the off-white with the yellow tints. Now I'm trying to make a gum for the teeth. I'm using the red wash and a pink wash. Now the good and the bad part, the pantyhose. I lowered the pressure of my airbrush and made really dark near in the black side brown color. With a low pressure, the darker brown color spray like a little dots. And I'm layering the dots for the pantyhose texture. As you know, top side of the pantyhose have a line with darker colors. And I don't know why, but in the leg parts they have darker color for a line. I masked the belt line and use same color more and more. Same paint and the masking job for the leg lines. I can understand the belt line for the rigidity of the pantyhose, but I don't know why they have the leg line. The orange part I'm painting, it's gonna be gold, but Painting gold with a cheap color, it's not really an easy job. I tried to make orange base coat and make gold over on it. It's looking more bronze than gold, but it's what it is. I'm trying to learn the gold color. The mimic chest is really looking good. And my arch enemy, the eyes. I'm over 30 years old and have bad eyesight. My left eye halfly blind and my right eye is really hard to see. You can see my right glasses is really thick and the left one the thicker one. Yes, I'm over 30 years old, have a bad eyesight and trying to learn new skill. It's tailored for the good eyesight people. I think most of them saying, I can see your hand is covering it. But be sure, I'm not seeing either way. Firstly, I used off-white parts of the eyes and paint blacks for the eyelashes and the outside of the iris, and used 3 shades of green for the iris and make a little dot for the center of the iris. With the flat white color, I added the anime shine in the eyes. I prepared some figures with magnets, but Frieren I am not use any magnets, I am only using super glue for the gluing. I used yellow for the base color, golden parts of the stuff. I think it's look better, I will use yellow next time. I'm shading the gemstone of the stuff. Now preparing for the money shot. While you watch the close-up shots, please consider subscribing and please make a comment what you think about my 1 week talent. See you in next week.